that gap that we have that is existing at the moment. Finally, I would like also to report that if you look at our country, one thing I want my map to report is that our ministry has really been helping the water utilities in the country by helping us to have at least what we are called tariff reflective cost that enables us to recover the cost for infrastructure. Because unless we have a tariff that is reflecting clearly the amount of money that's being employed by the government, so that we can be able to pay the loan the government taking on behalf of the citizens of this country. And that's another area that at least we are calling on. Thank you very much, CEO.
Thank you very much. I think at this juncture in time, I would like to escalate this discussion to the general audience. If you have a specific question, you can direct it to a specific panelist or speaker. I can take the set of 5 questions as we want to conclude this session and move into the official opening. So question number 1. It could be a question, it could be a comment, it could also be a compliment. You can raise up your hand. Question number 1. Because of the lights, I can't see clearly up. Good afternoon, you can proceed.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair of WASPA.
Kindly introduce yourself as you ask the question or you make the comment.
My name is Benazir Omoto from Umande Trust. Thank you, Chairman of WASPA, for your explanation. I want to understand whether you also include the youth with regards to innovation, because you mentioned that they are involved in excavation and backfilling. Do you have space to incorporate and integrate youth innovativeness within the system? Thank you.
So thank you. We take a set. Benazir, thank you, from Umande Trust. Another question, contribution or compliment? Now, I want to presume that is the only question. Oh, there's another one here. Kindly proceed. Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to presume that is the statistics we alluded to. 18% of women are employed within the water service provision sector. It is that this has not been escalated, but I think if more statistics are escalated to other institutions, barely the figures would remain the same. So that is a clear question to you, Chair. The last one as we close. So I want to take, there are only those 2 questions. Chair WASPA.
Yes. Thank you very much for that question. One of the things I want to make to attention is that capacity building is one of the key things that as WASPA we are doing. And we look at, for example, the students of Kemi. 90% of them are given internship by the water companies. We know these leaders will be the futures of tomorrow. And one of the things we want them to learn is apply the skills that they're learning in school, which in most cases theoretically compared to practical what they are doing. When they come on the ground, one of the things at least we encourage them is also to come up with ideas, because knowledge is like tree growing. If there's a better way of doing something to make sure at least we achieve the required goal, the innovations are really much encouraged, so that all of us, we can achieve the universal provision of water to our citizens. So that's very much encouraged in the water sector.
Chair WIWAS.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Rebecca, for that question. Yeah, it's the study of the World Bank that reveals that over about 18% of women in the 64 water utilities that were sampled globally were women. So what are we doing as WIWAS? WIWAS, first of all, is a forum where women come and network, share opportunities, just build each other, mentor each other. And therefore, we're doing that, we are preparing the women to take up these positions when they come out. We also have advocacy, and we are talking to the various institutions that you've heard it said that that if you're not at the table, then you become the main dish. But we are saying invite the women to the table through promotions, through recruitment, and then through other means. Bring them to the table. When they are at the table, give them a voice. Let them voice their needs. And once they voice their needs, listen to what they have to say and apply it. And that way they feel that they are contributing to the conversation. Another thing is capacity building. And we are coming up with a leadership program, leadership and mentoring program, which will be involving the water utilities. And in that way, the women will build their capacity so that they can occupy this leadership position, among others. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want the panelists and the speakers to take a few seconds, 30 or thereabout, to give a parting shot. And I'll start with you, CAC, a parting shot.
For me, challenge to the youth, as we work together in the sector, I think one of the key things I want to propose is we look for mentors to be able to guide us as we grow up in the sector. Two, for the women, I think as we've kept on empowering the girl child, I think also as we look at the youth side, we need to look at the boy child from that perspective, so that we can be able to really bring up to par together. Because at some point we focus too much on the girl child, which of course translates to women later on, and forget about the boy child who is in the youth at this particular time. That's a challenge that I'm throwing back to the panelists. Thanks.
Thank you, Madam CAS.
Thank you. My challenge has been created because of what is just talked about, the boy child. So I challenge all the men, what are you doing about the boy child? From where I stand, we stopped the jandoni for women, so no female genital mutilation. So we are not focusing anymore to train the girls, but we are using technology, the space that has been created for us now, to encourage the girls. What are you men doing? You have the jandoni, and you still have the same space as us. Mentor the boy child.
Our chair, WASPA.
Thank you. I would like first to start with youth. We would like to encourage the youth, at least they have a lot of potential, a lot of energy, and they need to take up the positions, so they should take advantage of all the positions that are advertised. They should take advantage and apply on them. Equally also on the women. I've seen of late, for example, when we advertised for senior engineers, we only got one lady who applied for that position. Women, they are given equal opportunities. Take advantage of that, because you will not be given the position by sitting down in your house, either somewhere. For that, so that we can get you as well, we mitigate the gap that is existing at the moment, so that at least we can achieve that role.
The interim chair of YWP, it is even alluded in the Bible that the young people have a lot of energy, and I saw that energy this morning. One of the biggest challenges that we have to bring into this discussion is in terms of using technologies to address the challenges in the water sector. And I think this is a techno-savvy generation. I don't know if you have thought about that. At times, being I know you are a commercial manager, the bills come, meters were not read. Are you exploring technologies like deploying drones to go and read meters, among other things, as you make your parting shot?
Drones. That's a big one. Anyway, what we are doing as youth, and first of all, we've been challenged here by the speakers here and the panelists that we have here. We've been challenged to come together as youth. We've been challenged to stand up. And by so doing, we are coming up with a national chapter so that we can have our voices heard, so that we can share the knowledge that we have, so that we can share the expertise. We've just heard that we have an WASPA call from Nakuru. What about we learn from them? What about we spread out this to the entire country? Women are going to be happier than ever because they're not going to take time looking for firewood. We have so much knowledge in technology. We are the techno-savvy team of today. So that means we are the leaders of today. We have innovations that we can be able to deploy and reduce non-revenue water, increase the collection efficiency. I'm in the commercial sector, so that is my number one goal. And we can do that by us coming together and sharing the knowledge. So I wish to encourage the youth in this house today that we come together, form a national chapter. And by the way, we have regions. We have regions that are from the Waterworks development agencies. And we have come up with a few youth representatives from the various Waterworks agencies so that we can be able to develop a national chapter which has a national outlook. So it is our time now. Let us stand up. We have our seniors in the sector who can hold our hands, who can mentor us, who we can tap into their skills and knowledge so we can be better leaders of today and tomorrow. Santi.
Thank you. Dr. Sumba, you can wind it up.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I have two parting shots. The first one is that I see a bright future because we have our CS, Madam Cicely Kariuki, who is a female. And I know with her, we are going to have all the support that we need to strengthen WIWAS. My second parting shot is that let us fix the leaky pipe all the way so that we can prevent the attrition along the line. Thank you very much.
Kindly join me in appreciating the speakers and the panelists as they exit the stage and we transit into another part of the program. So kindly, can I get the podium back? Now, as we transit into the next stage, Chief Guest, with your permission, allow me to recognize a few committees that have been able to make this conference a success. We have the steering committee, which was chaired by our chairman, CPA Michael Mangeli. He was supported by the directorate within the ministry, where we have Engineer Chengo, Director of Sanitation Management and Head of Development Coordination, who is not here, and also Engineer Mary Wamaitha, Director of Water and Sewerage Sanitation Development. From this great county, we had CEC, Water and Environment and Natural Resources, Engineer Dr. Festus Ngeno, and we also had Dr. Leonita Sumba, who has been here, and Jeremy Beru. Also, we had Ms. Winfred Mbai, MD Machakos Water, Ms. Mary Nyaga, MD Muranga South, who I believe is in this room, and Dr. Caroline Kabaria. Beyond that, we had a scientific and technical committee which published a call of papers, both for the abstracts, and we had also the Vijana and Dada Water and Sanitation Innovation Awards, and we are happy that the county government of Nakuru is hosting a gala dinner to recognize these innovations in the sector. Then we have the scientific committee and technical committee, which I want to mention Dr. Kabaria. I would like them just to stand to be recognized. Dr. Kabaria, Dr. Kwedo, Dr. Sumba, Dr. Mdondo, Beatrice Langat, Skolangari, Jeremy Eberu. Why don't we appreciate all of them? And it has been done according to international standards. If you look at this book that I believe is in your custody now, you will see over 44 abstracts professionally done under the guidance of that team. And that is one of the contributory success. Kindly, the Secretariat ensure that everybody has this conference booklet. So kindly ensure that is done. I've taken note of that. Our apologies, because I thought it had reached. So ensure it is there. And also the Secretariat, led by myself and WASPA staff. Without much ado, with your permission, our chief guest, allow me bring in the CC of this great county, Honorable Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno, to take us through the official opening.
The Cabinet Secretary in charge of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, Honorable Cicely Kariuki, the Deputy Governor, County Government of Nakuru, His Excellency Honorable Dr. Korir, the CAS, Honorable J.B. Klimo, Chairman WASPA, my good friend Mangeli, CEO WASPA, and WASPA members, MDs of utilities, colleagues, CECs, various county governments represented here. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Mine, Madam CS, is to facilitate the official opening of this conference as we look at unlocking potentials of women and youth for sustainable water and sanitation services. We appreciate your presence as county government, and I presume been exchanging pleasantries with my boss. And we are grateful as county government of Nakuru to host this event. I, from the Department of Water and Sanitation, and my 3 utilities, Naruwasco, Nawasco, and Naivawasco, have worked together to be able to provide a good host, especially as we look at the gala dinner tomorrow, and good participants in that regard. Without wasting much time, Madam CS, allow me to welcome our first speaker to make his remarks as the Chairman WASPA, CPA Michael Mangeli. Kindly welcome to the podium. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes to make his remarks. Welcome.
Madam CS, Minister of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, Deputy Governor of Nakuru County, the CS, Honorable Shebesh, the CEC in charge of Water, Nakuru County.
Korir, yes, Chairman WASPA, all chairs who are here, all protocols observed. What I'm going to read is the perspective of the Ministry of Public Service, and more so, the State Department for Gender, where women issues and gender equality are discussed. And for this matter, because of sanitation, it shall cover mostly women. So it is a great pleasure as I read this on behalf of the State Department of Gender, of course, with the permission of my Cabinet Secretary, Professor Margaret Kobia. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you today during this opening ceremony of the Water Services Providers Association WASPA Conference on Women and Youth in Water and Sanitation. This conference is very important as it seeks to address the important connectivity between women and youth with water and sanitation. The broad objective of this conference gels very well with the mandate of our ministry to empower women in all sectors of our economy. In addition, the Ministry of Public Service and Gender considers water and sanitation a practical gender need. Number one, alongside food. So food and water, they go alongside. They are all a priority. This is therefore a conference that is well thought out, and the large participation of stakeholders in the water and sanitation sector will go a long way in improving interventions in the sector for the benefit of women and youth. According to Oxfam, millions of people die every day because they are forced to go without the most basic needs of clean water and sanitation. Diseases from unsafe water and lack of basic sanitation kills more people each year than all forms of violence, including war, and thus making this one of the most urgent health issues. Access to water and sanitation is recognized as a fundamental human right. Incorporated in the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, it contributes to the achievement of gender equality and women's empowerment as provided for under the Sustainable Development Goals number 5. The Constitution of Kenya, Article 43, Subarticle 1, states that every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, to accessible and adequate housing, and to reasonable standards of sanitation, to be free from hunger, and to have adequate food of acceptable quality, to clean and safe water also in adequate quantities. The rights to water and sanitation require that these basics are adequate, accessible, safe, acceptable, and affordable for all without discrimination. Violation of these requirements constitutes a violation of women and youth's rights. It is, however, recognized that challenges exist in the search for adequate water supply, and these include the exhaustion of traditional water sources like rivers due to human settlement, as well as farming in water towers and riparian areas. This has had a negative effect on women and children who have to walk long distances in search of water. Exorbitant costs of water in some urban areas, poor quality of water due to poor quality assurance standards, QAS, expensive and capital-intensive operation and maintenance of water infrastructure for both irrigation and domestic use contribute to reduced access to adequate and affordable water. And so to counter these facts, decision makers must address the persisting inequalities between women and men while embracing the human rights principles of equality and non-discrimination to ensure universal access to water and sanitation for all women and their families in the country. While recognizing the significance of water and sanitation to the smooth functioning of all development sectors, the Vision 2030 and MTP3 propose to increase the supply of Kenya's scarce water resources and to ensure its efficient management for household and commercial purposes. It is envisaged that this will lead to the achievement of economic, social, and political priority projects in the country, while at the same time contributing to the improved well-being of women and men, children, the elderly, and persons with disabilities who have challenges with moving for long distances in search of water. We all know that women and girls are the custodians of water for domestic use. They perform most of the unpaid labor associated with water and sanitation in households. This reduces their time available for education, economic activities, and leisure. Lack of economic independence compromises their empowerment and perpetuates their gender inequality. In Kenya, as in many developing countries, inadequate sanitation is one of the major challenges faced in overcoming gender inequalities. Inadequate access to safe, hygienic, and private sanitation facilities is a source of shame, physical discomfort, and insecurity for millions of women across the world. Even just before I continue, Nakuru County, you're doing so well cleaning the roads. But you know, there's no place, there's no toilet. Why don't you build one along the road? This one is not written in the speech. They're doing very well. There are people picking all the time. But you know, until you reach a petrol station, the men always go. They are the ones who are spoiling the environment, by the way. I'm not against you, but you know, the way you're created, you're lucky. But that is why we are saying over here that inadequate to safe, hygienic, and private sanitation facilities is a source of shame, physical discomfort, and insecurity for millions of women across the world. In informal urban settlements like Mathare Valley in Nairobi, women have to wait until dark to empty their bowels. As a result, they tend to drink less during the day, resulting in all kinds of health problems, such as urinary tract infection. Because the doctors tell you, don't hold when you feel like going. Go, but women have to hold until it's taken back into their system. In primary and secondary schools, latrines are either not commensurate with the number of students, not clean water enough for use, or just insensitive to the special needs of girls. This has resulted in girls staying away from schools when they are in their menstruation. When it comes to maternal and newborn health, improving access to water and sanitation and providing expectant mothers with basic health services and accurate hygiene information is vital for reducing maternal mortality rates and meeting global goals for ending preventable child deaths. The poor, particularly women, stand to gain directly from improved water and sanitation through improved health, reduced health costs, and time spent on caring for the sick. A study by the World Health Organization in 2013 estimated that 80% of all communicable diseases in Africa are water-related and also constitute a major proportion of healthcare expenditure. Women who lack safe water are more prone to water-related illnesses such as hookworm infestation, which when occurring during pregnancy is linked to low birth weight and slow child growth and hepatitis. Emerging evidence also suggests that giving birth in a setting without safe water, without safe drinking water or sanitation has a negative impact on the health and survival of both mother and child. Lack of safe water and sanitation causes up to 50% of undernutrition worldwide. That is WHO. Now, gender-responsive water and sanitation reforms. As a result of the above challenges, the government of Kenya seeks to ensure that women and girls have access to safe and affordable water and sanitation, and they live in a clean, secure, and sustainable environment. This really underestimates the work what our cabinet secretary has done. Those of us who were in Nairobi during COVID times, congratulations, Honorable CS. You have done well to provide water for the women in informal settlements. Women and youth can also play their rightful role in water and sanitation programs through taking advantage of grants and interest-free credit disbursed through the Ministry of Public Service and Gender. In organized groups, women and youth may take interest-free loans from the Women Enterprise Fund, WEF, Youth Enterprise Development Fund, and WASPA Fund to invest and earn profit from which they can develop their small water and sanitation projects. The National Government Affirmative Action Fund gives out grants to women and youth for value addition, table banking, and countrywide projects that can boost the ability of women and youth to run and manage small-scale water projects. For example, sinking boreholes to draw water for domestic use and for sale, store and package water for income generating or protect springs for clean potable water. In poor urban settlements, women and youth in organized groups can use the government affirmative action funds to construct and run legally licensed water kiosks to improve the distribution of clean potable water for domestic use and as a source of income. To improve women's participation in water and sanitation programs, there is need to scale up the training in TVET institutions and universities to equip them with skills as artisans, civil engineers, hydrologists, and other relevant specialties. On the other hand, women and girls are encouraged to take STEM subjects in primary and secondary schools to be better prepared to study water and sanitation-related courses in colleges. And at this juncture, I wish to pause and appreciate the sacrifices and the initiatives of Women in Water and Sanitation Association, WIWAS. There you are. Our Cabinet Secretary does recognize your work. They have stood out as role models to women and girls in this country. Hence the need for you to make yourself more visible, because story sells. The more girls hear your stories, the more they'll take up the courses in water engineering and others. With improved access to water and sanitation, women have more time to undertake income-generating activities. Easier access to water can, for example, enable a woman to water a kitchen garden or do irrigation farming and thereby improve their family's food security, as well as provide an opportunity to earn money by selling the surplus. In addition to meeting women's specific practical needs, increased access to water and sanitation has positive economic implications to women. Women's involvement in decision-making about water resources and in implementation of water and sanitation programs is therefore critical for the empowerment of women. And finally, I wish to thank the Cabinet Secretary for Water and Sanitation, Mrs. Cicely Karaoke, EGH, for inviting the Ministry of Public Service and Gender to participate in this conference. We are grateful as a ministry. The Water Services Providers Association, WASPA, of Kenya, is also thanked for organizing this important conference. Chairman, we are grateful. Let this conference be the beginning of many similar conferences on women and youth in water and sanitation at both national and county levels. In conclusion, I wish to emphasize that water and sanitation are the backbone of our health, and we need to continuously engage in conversations about how best we can make concerted efforts to boost their quantity and quality for the improved well-being of all Kenyans. I therefore end my remarks by encouraging rich interactions in this conference and sharing of information and best practices, while also building strategic partnership for improved outcomes in this important sector of water and sanitation. I thank you on behalf of my Cabinet Secretary, Professor Margaret Kobia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CS Honorable Chebi Klimo. Let's give a round of applause. I think she has really given us great insights from the Ministry of Public Service and Gender, and we appreciate your presence in this gathering. One of the challenges, Madam CAS, about the highway, Nakuru, I want to confirm to my boss, Excellency Deputy Governor, I have talked to my colleague in the Ministry of Health, Public Health, and we have confirmed that we are going to start constructing the toilets in the next financial year. Thank you so much for the challenge, and for Nakuru, as we become a city, we need to be able to show it by actions. We appreciate and thank you so much. You are requested that you can stream live. We have our participants online, can stream at WASPA services, water service providers, Facebook and YouTube accounts, and also you can tweet. In your booklets, we have got an hashtag, WASPA Youth and Women Wash Conference 2021. Kindly, let's continue communicating and canvassing on this important occasion. Madam CS, I will be inviting my boss to speak shortly, but before then, I would like to just make two remarks and blow our trumpet as a county government of Nakuru through our service providers that we are trailblazers in the sanitation agenda. We appreciate the support that you gave us through your ministry and the Ministry of Health in coming with the Nakuru county-wide sanitation strategy, of course, which you transition, and we have NACOSTEC as a steering committee, and also our Maca.com, the NAWASCO that are doing the fiscalized and full sanitation value chain, and our participation and partnership between Naivasha Water and Sanitation. In fact, I dare say that CS, we produce Ficos or Maca from Nakuru, from our two service providers. It is important that we take that recognizance, and the Ministry of Water and Sanitation has been a great partner to us in that respect. To Madam CS is to mention that in the last impact 12 from the Water Services Regulatory Board, the three utilities of Nakuru, Naruwasco, Nawasco, and Naivawasco, we scooped 6 out of the 18 available trophies, a third of the available trophies because of governance. So we trailblaze again on governance. We allow our utilities to operate, and I thank His Excellency the Governor through the Deputy Governor for giving us that space to be able to allow our utilities to do their business. That's what governance is all about. Madam CS, as I conclude, is to thank you through the ministry and thank you personally. And this is in respect to COVID-19 response, that you are able to provide us with water tanks through the waterworks development agencies and provided utilities with chemicals. We appreciate through Water Sector Trust Fund. I must make note of that. On behalf of Council of Governors, we appreciate. Thirdly, we also appreciate on the support through the conditional liquid support grant to the utilities for them to be able to respond and pay up their bills that as a result of especially the first wave, where they were to provide water services for free. In that respect, Madam CS, I know quite a number of counties have not received utilities. So I ask you on with your kind response to be able to fast track the disbursement of the pending bill or grant that you had promised to the utilities. With those few remarks, I want to end by saying that we welcome you to Nakuru and we appreciate your presence here. In this juncture, I would like to invite the Deputy Governor, Dr. Eric Warir, to make his remarks and invite the CS thereafter. Welcome, Dr. Ari.
Are we safe? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I know we've just had some lunch and we've been sitting for a couple of minutes since then. Maybe, I don't know whether these Kayamba people are very far. They could jangamsha us kidogo. Just for maybe 2 minutes. I will allow you my 2 minutes. So that, because I'll be very brief, I'll not spend a lot of time. And I can see people already in their slumber land. Who is not on the slumber land? You see, there are only 5 people. The rest are. So that tells you it's very serious. Are they coming? Just one number for 2 minutes. Just we stand, we stretch a bit, and then we proceed. I can start for you. I wanted some nice song. Can you be our DJ? Yes, that is a good one. I think let's stretch. They are here. They are saying they want Chepchumba. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Madam CS, that was my trainer of Pokot and Marakwet songs. Sasa tunataka tuimbe wimbo ya kutuunganisha sisi wote wa Kenya. Na yeah, sorry, we were actually just here in the cold and I felt we've sat for too long. So